Hello everyone. So I'm Master Evangelista. Welcome to our class. So let me just introduce myself to you. I think you have idea who I am. So probably you can check my Facebook page and Instagram page. So with less introduction, so I'm your instructor. So speaking virtually speaking, basically our modality for this course is through blended learning, but most likely all the lectures will be delivered in this platform using videos, and you have to access the videos through the links that I will be giving you every meeting. That we don't have any live sessions, but for any live sessions, of course, definitely we're gonna meet using Google Meet. So I don't have a GC or Google Classroom, because basically I'm living in Japan and we don't have a license to create an account for Google Classroom, so I just can't link it with the UEP portal. So I hope this is clear for you guys, that whenever we have live sessions every Saturday, I'll have to send you the link and I have to access it, and I'm gonna carry it there. Okay, so most likely all the submissions will be made online, and you have to send all the submissions, paperworks most likely, and some of the exams or quizzes to my email. You might expect how the quiz might be done, but basically I'm also thinking that whenever we have departmental exams or any periodic exams like prelims, midterms, and finals, I will be sending with you my teaching assistant. So a person will be there with you to have the in-person exam. So I just have to make sure that the standards for testing is there and that the quality of teaching is not compromised. So basically this is just to say that no cheating allowed. Definitely we really have to sustain the quality of the test, and to really gauge whether you have learned something or not. So whenever you are cheating, of course you're cheating just yourself, so just don't do that. um of course, that would apply to any quantitative test that I might be giving you soon. Of course, if you will be copying or whatever, who you are tricking with, and that's just yourself, and that your productivity will suffer along the way. So if you don't do any effort to actively engage in class, have an active learning, develop active learning, so it would be really difficult for you to get along with the facing of the new trends and skills for the 21st century. And that's definitely how you get on track with developing new set of skills. So I hope you keep that in mind. Okay, so that's clear. Another thing that I would like to tell you tonight or this morning is that, okay, I will be sending you some materials, but these materials are not limited with what I just sent or will be sending. So prior to this, you could actually make advanced readings, and I will be sending with you your readings. So what do you expect in this course actually? So I'll be giving you materials like what I said, so you can have advanced reading, so you can surmise most likely the topics that we'll discuss in class. I will also be sending you a copy of the syllabus, and I just have to make some few revisions before I have to give it to you, so you have a course outline and the topics that we'll be discussing in the entire semester. Okay, that's clear. Next in line is expectation. This subject is called popular and contemporary literature, or otherwise contemporary and popular literature. So when we say literature, somehow this pertains to reading. Well, we just can't abstain from reading. We have to read and sit down. Anyway, first and foremost, we have to make reading an interesting activity. Nonetheless, if we negate reading or we don't really read, we don't really gain more knowledge, because knowledge is accessed more or can be more accessible through reading. We can read by listening, we can read by teaching, and we can learn by teaching. We can also acquire knowledge in various ways, but reading in itself is like an acquisition, a direct acquisition of knowledge that is just plated and preserved in the text, read the textbooks. So if you don't have time, or you do not establish a good study habit, it might be difficult for you guys to keep up with acquiring new knowledge, or to take or give in or get more knowledge. So that's just one challenge. So in active learning, there is a strong responsibility that you have to focus on what you must do as an individual to learn better, to make this course that is provided online for your own benefit. So basically, I can guide you, I can give you the materials that you must do. But on the other hand, you also have to do your part. You have to study, you have to learn. When something is being asked for you to do, you have to do it and submit and comply. If you can't do it and you have any questions, then ask me and email me. And the DM, our lines are open. The communications lines are open. So you just can simply hit me up, shoot me, shoot me a DM. So I really have to find a time as well to respond to your emails or inquiries. So that's how it goes. Next um is next is reading. Yeah, of course, you have to read, that's established. But but literature is not only confined to reading. So basically, if you want it to be a little bit fun, we can also infuse various ways on how to make this course exciting. Like for example, film watching. You can also produce videos. You can even infuse TikTok, yeah, to create valuable contents or educational contents using that platform, TikTok. Or even like making reels on Facebook, which might discuss about an ideal book that you have read. Or you might introduce a book using reels on Facebook and talked about it, or share this very impressive book that you have read to your audience or to your network. Those are the activities that I am thinking, so that we could actually infuse technology, or the existing technology that we are using today that are in our platforms, to keep in touch with how the developments of technology and of the trends that we have. So literature doesn't really have to be archaic or very old, or old fashioned. It can be trendy as long as we know how to be creative. So that's the point. As long as we know how to be creative, literature class couldn't be boring. And of course, I will also be teaching you how to teach literature soon. As future teachers, you really have the responsibility in how to transfer knowledge. So I'm giving you knowledge. I am transferring knowledge onto you, starting from this video. So whatever you might pick from me, whatever you might learn from me, that must be transferred to your future students. So in our class, you always have to put yourself into levels or three dimensions or multi dimensions, even if it's possible. First dimension is that you as a student and I as the teacher, or I as the professor. So I tell you what you must do, what you must teach, what you must know, basically, and I'll guide you onto that. Second layer, you also have to put yourself into the second dimension. The second dimension is you as a future educator, or you as a future teacher. You will then take part of my part. You will be in my shoe, to transfer the knowledge that you have to your future students. And these kids might yet unborn, or are still, a sperm and egg cell somewhere else womb, and reproductive organ. These kids that you might be teaching are not yet born, but definitely you have to think about how they learn. You also have to think about the classical literature that we know today, that they must also know, or that are still essential when they grow up or in their generation. So that a process of knowledge transfer must also be put in class. You always have to think as a student, second layer, you always have to think about your future as teachers. The third layer is a sense of a personhood, a sense of individuality as a person. What have you learned from this class to improve yourself, to become a better person or a better citizen? Or if not, just to at least improve yourself, to become a better person. That is, I think, a more realistic goal for you to start a change. Not really a radical change, a big change, but you can start small. Like, for example, like changing a habit. And when that habit becomes, impregnated, or had been used, you've been accustomed to it or used to it, that habit building will help you develop to sediment or concretize your personality. That will become, who you are. That will be anchored to your personality. Let me simplify that. Changing a personhood, changing a personality start with changing bits of habits, some actions, little actions that you do on a daily basis, or more so you do on a gradual basis but regularly. That action can build a habit, and that habit can, change an aspect of your personality, which is more permanent. That's actually our third layer in this course. You also have to, find or be alert on finding ways on how to help yourself become a better person. And on a spiritual note, I really don't have to discuss that. This is university, of course. We just have to focus on scholarly works. So one thing that I would tell you is that, you have to use your rational skills. You have to be rational, logical, and critical. You know, it your faith is there, but it's just there. You have to argue critically. You have to argue using your reasoning. You have to argue using reason. And of course, you have to use your mental faculty to think. That's why you're here. Nonetheless, if tamad ka mag-isip, don't be here. Just get out. And I'm serious on that, because what can you teach if you knew nothing? Put that in mind. It's a crime, actually, to be a teacher and knowing nothing. It's a shame. All right. So you always have to be mindful of these three sets, or three or four layers, actually, that we have to, gradually develop. Okay, the first set of readings that I'll be giving you is about literature. You have to know what literature is. I have to define what literature is. I also have to discuss the theories of literature, the different types and genres of literature, and you have knowledge on this. We will not focus much on this, but definitely we will have to, revisit the definitions of poems. You also have to revisit the definitions of creative nonfiction, fiction. We also have to look into short stories and, free verse in poetry, persona, narrator, and all the other elements of such writings or literary texts. We just have to, run through them or scan through them. And definitely after that, we need to gauge your knowledge on these, matters or these topics, because it's literature. It's a shame if you know nothing about literature and yet you have taken a literature course from me. So yeah, I have to have a quiz after I discuss that. So I'll be giving you a reading on that, but I just have to define what literature is. Literature is anything that uses language to produce something written. Literature comes from the word littera, a Latin word, littera, letters. So it's really about the use of written words or written text or language to produce something else. It must be written. Nonetheless, if it's orally spoken, it's oratora, oral literature or oral tradition. So literature really is made through writing. Do you love writing, or have you ever tried writing? If not, well, subukan nyo. Please try, because it's part of your communication skill. It's a macro skill. Writing is a macro skill, and reading and writing go with each other. So you just have to, not really master, but at least to achieve a certain level of proficiency or mastery, something excellent for you to be able to converse well and communicate your ideas better. So that's what literature is. I repeat, it means it comes from the Latin word littera, meaning letters. It is actually a way we use language to write, express our ideas, to explore things, to discuss about our environment, to discuss our experiences, to explore emotions and anything. I got one question for you guys. Is the Bible a literature? Can you think about it? What's your answer? Is the Bible a form of literature? When I said all written forms, and the Bible is written, it qualifies as a book. Is it literature? The answer is yes, it is. But others would say, no, it's holy, it's a holy text. That's actually a way of looking at the Bible. But on the other level, it's a book. Who wrote it? God? Man, of course. People. Isn't it that the books of the Bible are actually named to these people or men who wrote about it, like Moses, like Daniel, because they were the ones who wrote these narratives, right? Yeah. But if you would say that the Bible is God's word, and personally, let me just, deviate myself from it. Personally, I know that the Bible, I believe that the Bible is the holy text, it's God's word. But in the scholarly discussion, it's actually a type of literature. It has writings, it has stories, it has narratives, and all other, I don't really want to say tales, but these are narratives with supernatural phenomena. Like, for example, when Moses split the Red Sea, when Jesus, raised the dead. So, under the context of religion, they are called miracles. But when you bring in the idea of legend or folk tale or like myth, so this becomes something like fictitious, isn't it? So, does literature and spiritual or the doctrines of the Bible or the religion may contradict with each other? In a way, yes, because religion says that we have the presence of God, and he knows everything, and we just accept it as it is. But we also have to be open about the other side of things, which is also right. The Bible is a literature, it's written by men. But how did these men might have, contained the thoughts of God, if we could say that the Bible is God's word? So it's up to you on how to discover that. We just have to give you an idea about these discussions or about these issues and discourses, but it's upon your responsibility to open your minds more, learn, and test and see what really you have to believe, or the things that you really believe, the things that why you just simply accept them. Challenge what you know, challenge the knowledge that you have, put them on fire, and see whether those knowledge are sustainable, or whether those knowledge are really genuine, that can help you, to to become a wiser person, that can help to sustain your existence, or to find your meaning and purpose. That's how it goes. All right. So that's literature. Anything that we use language to produce our expressions, to express anything like our despair, our love, and other emotions. That's one more question. Does literature must always have an emotion? Does it always entail, a feeling of relatedness? Does it always have to make fun, to make you happy like comedy? No, but literature is purposive. Like, for example, when an author of a short story writes something about his struggles, about his identities, then be it. That struggle might not be, give you a happy ending, but give you valuable lessons in life. All of these narratives are essential for us to understand the experiences of that person or of the author. And so do we. Like, when we also try to express our opinions and post on Facebook, that is in a way, a little bit of an exercise of literary practice. So maybe one day I will go along to your Facebook and see how it goes. What do you post there? Yeah, that's how it goes. But don't you worry, guys. You don't have to hide your post from me. Just be usual. Just be natural. Just be genuine. Genuine or genuine, whichever ways your pronunciation is acceptable. To me, it's genuine. Yeah. Whatever it is that you have posted there, you might not hide it, because that's who you are. And I just love to meet people who are genuine or just true to themselves. Whatever you have posted there, whether it might have been hate, your your desperation probably, or your losses, that's a human nature. So just leave it there, right? Yeah. Okay. You might, want to follow me on Instagram, but I really don't, add friends on Facebook. Yeah, definitely. Because I just really have to keep my Facebook page private, as much as private as it is. Like maybe even if like I could have 10 or 20 friends, it's fine to me. And I have 200, just fine, or maybe 150, that's fine. I just want real people. I don't want, a thousand so-called friends, but not really friends. I just want genuine people. Yeah. So you can to stay connected probably in social media, you can follow me on my Instagram. So go to my page, and then when I have my Instagram account there, it's 7 I am Ezer. So 7 is as in literally number 7. I have it there, number 7. 7 I am Ezer. Ezer is Ezer. You can follow me there, and you can actually just read some of my posts. Actually, most of my posts there are poems, my poems, and captions. You also have to learn a bit of how to make captions in posting photos. That's part of literature. That's in the new age of literature. That will be discussed in the latter part of the discussion or the topic. So, yeah. So we'll just have to focus more on literary main text, like short stories, novels, and something. But you don't really have to read a lot, like a novel. Probably, yeah. Suggestively, I might give you some suggestions on what to read. Okay, if I speak fast, that's just how it goes. But you also have to develop your listening. This is just how it goes. All right, you are expected to be English teacher, so you have to qualify, to the standard, to the world standard, how to converse using this language. All right, that's all for today. Please read the suggested readings that I would be giving to you. Have a great day. And half of the class, since we have a 3-hour class, is devoted to reading. Okay, advanced reading. Have a personal study habit. Establish a personal study habit. So this is my guide to you now. Listen to my lecture, watch it, and eventually get into your reading. Sit down, go to a cafe, relax, wear a perfume, put on a perfume, or wear a perfume, put on a nice clothing, accessorize if you want. If that makes you feel comfortable, do it for you to learn better. All right? Okay, so read these articles. Bye.